This video is about Donald Trump, and in this video I will reveal how, through subliminal messages, the BBC revealed in 2016 that Trump was a Freemason. Now, the BBC did this in a political documentary which was presented by Jeremy Paxman, and it's called Paxman on Trump vs Clinton, Divided America. So in the last election, the BBC had already made a program where they predicted that the election would divide America, and as we have seen, Trump in power has divided America, or that is how the media have presented it. Now, Donald Trump was hand-picked by the Rothschilds to carry out their agenda, and he was funded by the wealthiest pro-Israel lobbyists in America. So he was funded by Sheldon Adelson, who is a man who wants to bomb Tehran. Okay, so he's threatened to drop nuclear bombs on Tehran. Now, we all know that America was created by Freemasons, and that a lot of its presidents were Freemasons. Okay, now in this documentary called Paxman on Trump v Clinton, Divided America, it seems to show and reveal that Trump is a Freemason. And let's see if we can see it in this video. So I'm just going to enlarge the screen. So it says, give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank and he'll rob the world. So this is subliminal messages in the BBC, which is a Masonic corporation. And in this documentary, it has subliminal messages. And so we all know that the banks have robbed the world. Okay, now let's watch a bit of the program.
With America more divided than ever, it's not just the two candidates casting an unsparing eye over their opponent.
Had to make a couple of turns the hard way, but it took a half hour to get him up here, but it was worth the wait.
So these naked statues turned up everywhere in America during the election, and it was a naked depiction of Trump. Now, these statues, they said, was created by artists. Now, as I've shown in my previous video, what is called artists' work is actually funded by the secret services and intelligence agencies and the government through things like the Arts Council. And so these statues, papier-mâché statues of Trump, must have been funded by the government and then put up. And then we are supposed to believe they are done by activist artists. So people a bit like Banksy and Mark Quinn during the latest Black Lives Matter protests. So you see here, Donald Trump has a red bottom, indicating that Donald Trump might be bisexual. So there you have Trump, and he's naked, and here you have a man with a suitcase with upside down pentagrams, and he has devil's horns. Okay, so you have Trump naked, and you have America, the American flag, it's turned upside down. You have a devil character, and you have upside down pentagrams so that all the stars have fallen down. So America is going to be destroyed, okay? That's what this flag indicates behind a naked Donald Trump.
We were carrying up somewhat of a life-size Donald Trump. He's a little taller, he's a little heavier, he's a lot lighter, but he's got about the same air mass.
So there you have the fake artist, a bit like Banksy in England, saying that all these statues are just naturally just popped up. Okay?
To him, which is full of nothing.
The protest art collective In Decline titillated America when their life-size naked statues of Donald Trump appeared overnight in parks and streets.
There are some liberties taken, of course.
So this is very similar to the Black Lives Matter statues that they've been erecting.
The hair,
So watch this.
the gut, and other extremities.
All of the statues vanished the same day.
So it looks like Trump has some kind of gonorrhea. So the statues reveal that Trump has some kind of sexual disease, maybe herpes.
Now, thanks to art curator Stanley Soodle, one more has found a home in New Jersey. It delights thousands each day as they commute into Manhattan.
Now look at this. On the statue of Trump is a Masonic ring. This is BBC subliminal messaging to the viewer. So there's a Masonic ring on Trump's finger. Now watch this.
People laughing as they were driving by is the overall response we got from this. Essentially, this piece is a perfect metaphor for the way we see, from our side, Donald Trump's campaign. It's off-color, it's abstract, and it's a complete joke.
There you go. Whatever you think of his body, Trump's critics say his politics are even uglier. His views on Islam and immigration have come in for harsh criticism.
Wait a sec, watch this. I want to show you something here. So think about the man in the background here. So you have the devil character. Now watch this.
We were carrying up somewhat of a life-size Donald Trump. He's a little taller, he's a little heavier, he's a lot lighter, but he's got about the same air mass to him, which is full of nothing.
The protest art.
So you can see the devil character here. Now it's got written letters. Remember, it's an upside down American flag with upside down stars looking like pentagrams. Watch this. There. So we're supposed to believe that this art collective called In Decline put these statues up. Okay. Now this art collective also did this huge flag with a man who's got devil horns, a suitcase. The American flag is upside down with upside down pentagrams, and it says In Decline. So showing you that America is going to decline and that Trump is going to be responsible for it. And this program was called Divided America, presented by Jeremy Paxman.
Titillated America when their life-size naked statues.
There it says In Decline, and it's a devil character with upside down flags with upside down stars, and the flag is upside down. So the satanic ritual.
Statues of Donald Trump.
There. There. Hope you can see that. The devil character on an upside down flag in decline.
Appeared overnight in parks.
And then it shows Trump with his Masonic ring. Now, all of your American presidents pretty much have been Freemasons. Now here it says 14. Now there's been, Trump is the 45th president and the 44th man to hold the office. Now here, Trump actually says he is a Freemason in this conversation.
Didn't get a 38. Didn't get 38, but in the Lord. 33 of the 38 under the blood.
So Trump says, actually, I'm a Mason, I would not know. That is what Trump says. You can hear him in this conversation. Go and look it up, okay? It's called Trump Says He's a Freemason. So he says, I'm a Mason, I wouldn't know. Number of US presidents. So there's been 45 presidencies, and actually Trump's the 44th different individual as president. Most of them have been Freemasons. Some say all of them apart from JFK. Here Trump predicts 9/11 before the event in his book. A year before 9/11 in his book he predicted 9/11 and that Osama bin Laden would be responsible for it.
Quote from Donald Trump. talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, "I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers." Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, "One day, we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy number one, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy and a new crisis."
So therefore, Trump predicted 9/11 19 months before it happened. So again, showing you that Trump is an insider. The BBC's program 2016 Divided America, showing you it's all predictive programming, and what we have in the media today, what we are presented with, is a divided America, and it's clear that Trump is a Freemason and part of the ruling elite. And here we have these statues, this statue that popped up, which was made by Mark Quinn, a British artist, and it was for Black Lives Matter. And Mark Quinn is funded by the Arts Council of the UK, and so are Black Lives Matter. And so in this documentary with the BBC, with this artist called an arts group called In Decline, it's clearly that it's funded by the government, by America's version of the Arts Council, and it clearly shows that Trump is a Freemason here.
Streets. There are some liberties taken, of course, with the hair.
And that there is a satanic plan for America with that flag upside down and a devil character with upside down pentagrams.
The gut and other extremities.
All of the statues
And it shows you that Trump has some kind of venereal disease.
vanished the same day. But now, thanks to art curator Stanley Soodle, one more has found a home in New Jersey. It delights thousands each day as they commute into Manhattan.
So there's Trump with his Masonic ring clearly visible. BBC once again showing subliminal messages. Thank you. Part 2 of my previous video which I made about Donald Trump, and how the BBC in a documentary called Trump v Clinton Divided America shows us that Trump is a Freemason. Now I just missed out a few things. Now at the beginning of the documentary, which is presented by Jeremy Paxman, it has Abraham Lincoln, and he says Abraham Lincoln is the greatest president of America. Now Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Is this some kind of indication that Trump will be assassinated? Okay.
Abraham Lincoln was the greatest president America ever had. He was earnest, he was a bit socially awkward, but he was visionary and he was heroic, and he earned the respect of the world.
So now Paxman says that these two candidates, Trump v Clinton, are the two least popular American president candidates that there's ever been. Okay. Now in this documentary it shows that Trump is a Freemason, and there is a satanic plot which Trump is involved in that will see the destruction of America as we know it today, and that Trump may actually rebuild the Third Temple, as he is known as by Israel as the new Cyrus. So Cyrus was the builder of the Second Temple. The Cyrus, he was the emperor of Persia. Okay, so they call Trump the new Cyrus, and Trump will likely build the Third Temple. Now in this clip it shows you that Trump is a Freemason, and I wanted to show you that underneath the statue of Trump it says also 666, okay?
To get Washington working again. But the more toxic this election becomes, the harder that will be.
So it has subliminal messages. Give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank and he'll rob the world. So the banks have robbed the world.
more divided than ever, it's not just the two candidates casting an unsparing eye over their opponent.
He had to make a couple of turns the hard way, but it took a half hour to get him up here.
So these naked statues appeared, and it shows that Trump has some kind of venereal disease. So Trump has been with lots of women. Who knows, he might be bisexual, and it shows you that he has venereal disease. Now, these statues, these naked statues of Trump, were supposedly put up by some kind of art collective called In Decline. Now, it's clear that these art movements, like the Black Lives Matter movement, and people like Banksy and Mark Quinn, are funded by the government through institutions called the Arts Council. So this was probably funded by the US government or secret services through their version of the Arts Council to support this campaign. So they put up loads of naked statues.
Here, but it was ripped away.
Now, you have Trump naked next to an American flag. The flag is upside down. It has a devil character, and it has upside down pentagrams. So it shows you it's a satanic ritual where you turn things upside down. So you have a man, he has devil's horns, he has a briefcase, all the stars have fallen, the flag is upside down, and next to the devil character it says In Decline, and it shows a naked Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is the emperor with no clothes. Okay, so he doesn't really have power. We all know that power lies with the Freemasons and the Rothschilds.
We were carrying up somewhat of a life-size Donald Trump. He's a little
So here's your fake artist activists funded by the government putting up these statues.
taller, he's a little heavier, he's a lot lighter, but he's got about the same air mass to him, which is full of nothing.
The protest are
So there you have the devil character with a suitcase, probably showing that Wall Street will collapse. So America will collapse. You have the upside down pentagrams falling down, so the stars are falling down and the flag is upside down and it says In Decline.
collective In Decline titillated America when they're...
Now watch this. Underneath the statue of Trump, it says Jabir 666. Again showing you that this will happen. This is a satanic ritual and Trump is part of it. America will fall.
naked statues of
There. Jabir 666. Jabir 666. Underneath the naked statue, America will fall. Under Trump.
Donald Trump appeared overnight in parks and streets.
There are some liberties taken, of course, with the hair, the gut, and other extremities.
All of the statues vanished
So here it shows you that Trump has venereal disease,
the same day.
probably genital herpes.
But now, thanks to art curator Stanley Soodle, one more has found a home in New Jersey. It delights thousands each day as they commute into Manhattan.
And there is the Masonic ring on Trump's finger. So please go and watch my other previous video and then watch this video, and you'll see that this program presented by Jeremy Paxman called Trump v Clinton Divided America clearly shows that Trump is a Freemason and that there is a satanic plan for America and for Trump. Okay, thank you. This is the third video about Donald Trump being a Freemason. Now in 2016 the BBC made this documentary about the American election. Now the documentary was presented by Jeremy Paxman, and the name of the documentary was Trump v Clinton Divided America. Now please watch my other two videos, as it will give this video context. Now within the program they show statues of Donald Trump naked, and it's supposed to be some kind of arts protest. Now I've shown in my previous video how these arts protests are actually funded by the government, and the artists behind them are also funded by the governments through institutions like the Arts Council. And so in America they probably have their own version of the Arts Council. Okay? So within these statues there is hidden symbols and meanings. And we're going to explore this in this video, and I have solved what the word Jabir means. Okay, so please watch this.
Candidates casting an unsparing eye over their opponent.
He had to make a couple of turns the hard way, but it took a half hour to get him up here, but it was...
So there's the Trump statue from behind. He's naked, and you can tell he has some kind of venereal disease. So it's likely that Donald Trump has herpes, and this is the BBC telling us about it. So here you have Donald Trump naked in front of an upside down flag, which were both made by this arts group called In Decline, and the flag is very satanic as it's upside down. All the stars have fallen down and they're upside down, and you have a character with two horns holding a briefcase, and it says here In Decline. Now this symbolizes the fall of America, likely the crash of Wall Street, and you have Donald Trump here naked. He is the emperor with no clothes, as America is really ruled by the Freemasons and the Rothschilds.
We were carrying up somewhat of a life-size Donald Trump.
Here you have the fake artist activist funded by the government. Okay?
He's a little taller, he's a little heavier, he's a lot lighter, but he's got about the same air mass to him, which is full of nothing.
The protest art...
Now watch this. You see the Trump statue and you see the character with the suitcase and the horns there saying In Decline. Now watch this.
collective In Decline titillated him.
It says here Jabber 666. Watch this.
America when their life-size naked
So watch this.
statues of Donald Trump.
So it says here Jabber 666. You have Trump naked. You have the character with the horns In Decline holding the briefcase, the upside down flag, the upside down pentagram stars. Now here you actually have the compass and square of the Freemasons as well. Okay, so here you have the square and compass, you have 666, and you have the word Jabir. Now this word is actually an Arabic name called Jabir, which is spelled Jabir, or it can be spelled Jaber. It's actually an Arabic name rather than a word, and I'm going to solve the mystery of Jabir and how it relates to Freemasonry.
Trump appeared overnight in parks and streets.
There are some liberties taken, of course. The hair, the gut, and other extremities.
All of the statues vanished the same
So it shows here that Trump has some kind of herpes. So that's probably why Belinda Trump is always unhappy.
day. But now, thanks to art curator Stanley Soodle, one more has found a home in New Jersey. It delights thousands each day as they commute into Manhattan.
So there you have the Masonic ring on this statue, showing you that Trump is a Freemason. Okay? Now let's solve the word Jabir. Jabir is actually a man. Jabir is actually a man, and he was a Muslim scientist who was around in the 8th century AD. He was called Jabir ibn Hayyan. And what makes this man so important is that he was an alchemist, a magician, a mystic, a philosopher, an astrologer, and he was into alchemy and numerology. And it was the Knights Templar who went to the Holy Land and they picked up this knowledge, this esoteric knowledge, and then brought it back to Europe, and then the Knights Templar became the Freemasons. Okay, so he's known as the father of chemistry. So he used to write like Leonardo da Vinci backwards to hide the true meanings of his work, and he was influenced by the ancient Greeks and the mystery schools. He was also influenced by Pythagoras. Okay, so again, relating to geometry, the mystery schools which go back all the way to ancient Egypt, and he wrote over 3,000 treatises. And this knowledge on science, on alchemy, essentially esoteric wisdom. And it was this that the Freemasons took when the Knights Templar went there. So he was into cosmology, music, medicine, magic, biology, geometry, you see, and metaphysics, and numerology. And so his influences go right all the way back to ancient Egypt and the ancient Greeks and the mystery schools. Now, he was the first man who tried to create life. So he tried to actually create new life. And again, that fits in with the alchemical model of changing lead into gold. So the desire of the Freemasons is to change man into God. And this is what the idea of the Philosopher's Stone is. Now, the Philosopher's Stone could be seen as everlasting life or the creation of life. And as we see now with artificial intelligence, is the creation of new life so that man can exist for a longer time on the earth. Okay, so these are philosophical esoteric theories. You see? And so Jabir's work involved the artificial creation of life, and that was the ultimate goal of the Philosopher's Stone. And it is this man that influenced Freemasonry and its ideas. And you can see him as the first scientist. So that is the name on that wall next to the 666, and therefore his knowledge and alchemy and hermeticism then was brought into Europe by the Knights Templar, who became the Freemasons. And you have here he is, just a short video on him.
Of the many Arab philosophers known to history, Jabir ibn Hayyan of the 8th century was the most noteworthy. He was a respectable polymath, widely known as the father of chemistry. He was an alchemist, astronomer, physician, and physicist. Jabir ibn Hayyan was one of the students of our beloved Imam Jafar al-Sadiq.
Hi, I am Jabir ibn Hayyan, or you can call me Jabir as they do in Europe. I'm most famous for devising and perfecting chemical processes such as distillation, evaporation, and crystallization, and for discovering sulfuric and hydrochloric acid. I was also one of Imam Jafar Sadiq's friends and students.
The word gibberish is said to originally come from the description of Jabir's writings, because for some unknown reason, he deliberately wrote in a way that anyone who tried to read his work wouldn't understand it. Till this day, nobody knows why he did this. Interestingly though, his work has inspired the search for the Philosopher's Stone, a legendary alchemical substance that turns base metals into gold or silver.
So there you go. In Europe he's called Jabir, just like it's spelt on that wall. And if we see the Philosopher's Stone, we know that it's part of Freemasonry. See, it's associated with eternal life. So that's what the Philosopher's Stone, and you have Harry Potter also promoting the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, it's direct relationship to Freemasonry. And here we have a passage from Freemasonry's website, and it's the doctrine of the alchemist. So it's to do with changing base metals, the perfection of man, old hermetic philosophies. You see? It is the idea of man becoming God. And here, It says, if this interpretation be correct, then the Philosopher's Stone of the alchemists and the spiritual temple of Freemasons are identical. That is what that reference means in this Trump image, is that you see the word Jabir, which refers to this alchemist.
He's a little heavier. He's a lot lighter. But he's got about the same air mass to him, which is full of nothing.
The protest art collective in decline titillated America when their
Here we have Jabir.
life-size naked statues of Donald
Jabir 666, and you have here the square there and the compass there. Okay, thank you.